Alright guys, so here's another set of homework. We have 3 homework pages to do this week because it's a short week. As always, you start with the multiplication table. I accidentally have it already filled out because I messed up the first video. Oopsies. But here we go. Remember that you start with the multiplication symbol in the corner, then you do the numbers 1 through 12 going horizontally and then vertically. So I had the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I go back vertically and do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Remember that you do the numbers 1 through 12 2 times. Don't forget it's twice. You put that 1 right here in the corner. That way you end up with the 3 ones right here in this little box. And you start with your numbers 1 through 12 again, going horizontally and then vertically. So I have this filled up all the way through 12 again, and then vertically all the way through 12 again. Once you have this set up, you're ready to fill in the rest of your multiples. And we want to start with the 2 easiest ones that we know for sure, just to set up the rest of our area. So we're going to start with our tens going, remember we do it vertically first, and then we go back and find that set of multiples and do it horizontally. So going for the tens first, I have 10 there already. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Gonna go back and find my tens to do it horizontally. So there's my 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Then I'm going to do my next set of easy, simple multiples, which is our 5s. Multiples of 5. We have the 5 there, so it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I'm going to find my 5s to go horizontally across here. So 5, 10, 15, 20. I have 25 there. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Now I can go ahead and start with the more harder numbers to fill in that have a couple of tricks to fill them out. Starting with the 12s. Remember, the trick is to start with the ones place number. So don't write your number all the way inside the box to the front. We're going to start at the way end. 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4. Then we're going to go back. We have that 1 here. 2, 3, 4, skip 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, skip 11, 12, 13, 14. Now that I have my 12s vertically, I'm going to do them horizontally. I have 12, then I said it was 24, 36, 48, 60, then 72, 84, 96, 108, 120, 132, and 144. We can start with the 11s. 11s are pretty simple. Remember, you're just doubling up the same number here, or if you're going to fill it in order, there's also a way to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and do it with that trick. It's kind of like the 12s. We start with the back number, your ones place number, before we fill in the rest. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Then I'm going to go back up here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Skip 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay. Since I did this vertically, I'm going to make it easy and do it horizontally as well, so I can do this faster. So I have 11, then it's 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99, 110, and 121. Everything else is filled already, so I'm good to go with that one. Next up is your 9s, multiples of 9s. We're going to start with that trick to fill in the back and the ones place first. So it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 9, 8. Then if I go up to the top, we start with that 9. It's like having a 0 in the front. We just go ahead and start with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 9, 9, 10 are there already, so it's filled out. I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to find my 9s horizontally and fill those in. I have 9. Then we put 18, 27, 36, 45 is there, 54, 63, 72, and then 81's already there for us. Now for these next ones, we can just fill them in as we go and just kind of close off these little patches that we have here. So you can start simple with your 2's. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Everything else is full for us. Go find my horizontal 2's. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Everything's full. My 3's. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. So that's good to go. I have it over here. I already have the 9. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15's there, 18, 21, 24. My table is filled out already. If I do the 4's, I have 4, 8, 12, and 16, 20, 24, 28, and 32. That's already done for me. Go to my 4's horizontally. I stopped at 20. That means that when I do 20 here, I should be at 24 next. 24, 28, 32. Now I have this little patch to work with. If the 6, 7, and the 8 are kind of hard for you, always remember that multiplication is repeated addition. When you guys are filling out this chart, you can also just add on. You just got to be kind of careful about how many you're adding. So here it's 6, 12, and 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, and 54. So if I have 36 over here, my next one will be 42 and 48. I have these last little boxes left here. So 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, and 63. So 49, 56 would be next. And 8 times 8, the last box, is 64. So we're done with our multiplication chart. This is very useful for the rest of the pages that we have. And it's good practice to remember how to fill it out. Alright, so getting to your second page, which is your Wednesday homework if you're doing it a day at a time. We have the area model, and it is a 2-digit by 1-digit multiplication problem. Here Miss Ponce did a sample for you to follow. So we have 23 times 6. Remember, the 1 digit goes to the side here, so we have the 6 on the side. We have 23, which is 20 plus 3 at the top. And so in this first box, we are doing 20 times 6. That's why we're getting the area here. Area is length times width. So 20 times 6 here. Remember that you have the 0 that can help you out right here. The 0, bring it down. Sorry, I scratched that one. And then you just worry about the 2 times 6 part of it, which is 12, which is actually 120 when you think about it in standard form. And then partial products on the side, we're adding them up. So she wrote down the 120 on the side. Then she did the 3 times 6, or 6 times 3, sorry, 6 times 3. And that is 18. So she put the 18 in the partial product. You add up these two partial products. You end up 0 plus 8 getting 8 here. 2 plus 1 is 3. And 1 plus nothing is 1. And my answer, my product, would be 138. So let's go ahead and go through the next 7 problems. We have 39 times 5. So to the side of my area model, I have the number 5. And we're going to be timesing by 39, multiplying by 39, or 39 times 5. 39 is made up of 3 tens, or 30, and 9 ones. Put the addition symbol here. The first box, we are doing 5 times 3 tens, or 5 times 30. 0 is my hero. Just bring down that 1 0 so I can just work with a 5 times 3, which I know is 15. I end up with 150. Then I can worry about 5 times 9. This looks like an S, I'm sorry. 5 times 9, and 5 times 9 is 45. And I write on the side my partial products because I got to put these together. So 150 plus 45. I end up with 0 plus 5 is 5 ones, 5 plus 4 is 9 tens, and 100 with nothing is 100. My product is 195. Okay. The next one, 85 times 3. Well, 3 is going to be my factor to the side. 85 is 8 tens, which is 80, plus 5 ones. So my first box is 3 times 80, and the second one is 3 times 5. Oh, I know that one. That's 15. And then 3 times 80, well, I'm going to drop down that 1 0, so I can just worry about 3 times 8. And 3 times 8 is 24. So 240. To the side, put your partial products here. Line them up and add them together. 0 plus 5 is 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. And 2 with nothing is 2. I have 255 as my final product. Number 4. 72 times 9. 9 is my factor to the side. 72 is made up of 70 plus 2 ones. And in my first box, we have 9 times 70. My second box is 9 times 2. We're going to solve those up. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 70, 0 is my hero. Drop that 0 down just so that you can deal with 9 times 7. And 9 times 7 is 63, 630. So 630 plus 18, I get 8 plus 0, which is 8. 3 plus 1 is 4, and 6 with nothing is 6. 648 is my final product. I'm going to scoot my paper up here because I can't see the last 4. So far, so good. I hope this is getting easier for you guys. I know that this week you're going to see the 2 by 2 digits. It's going to work about the same way, just more numbers to fill in boxes, and you got to be careful about how you drop them in. So 51 times 7. 7 is my factor to the side. 51 is 5 tens, which is 50, plus 1 1. Scratch this. This is why we don't use pens when we work. This is 7 times 50, and this is 7 times 1. Ooh, that's fast. 7. 7 times 50, drop my 0 in that tens place box there. And I'm working now with just the 7 times 5, which is 35, which is 350. Oh, hey. 350 or 350 plus 7. I don't even need to line these up. I'm going to line them up anyway. But 7 ones with nothing is 7. And I have no numbers under here, so I'm just going to drop down the 3 and the 5. So my my final product is 357. Okay. Hope this is getting easier for you guys. 98 times 4. 4 is my factor on the side. 98 is 9 tens, which is 90. Plus my 8 ones. Inside this box, we are working out 4 times 90, and in the second box, we are doing 4 times 8. Ooh, 4 times 8 is 32. And 0 is my hero. Drop it down. And 9 times 4 is 36. I end up with 360. 360 plus 32. 2 plus 0 is 2, 6 plus 3 is 9, and 3 plus nothing is 3. Final product is 392. Here we go. Number 7, 63 times 2. Final product is after we set up the whole problem. Here, pretty fast. This looks like it might be a simple one. So our first factor is 2 to the side because it's the 1-digit number. 63 is 6 tens and 3 ones. First box is the problem 2 times 60. Second box is 2 times 3. I know that one. That's 6. Drop a 0 for my tens number box. 6 times 2 or 2 times 6 is 12. I put these together. I don't really need to even line them up, but I'm going to do it anyway because you never know when these numbers might change. So 60 plus 0. I'm sorry. 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 with nothing is 2, and 1 with nothing is 1. 126 is that final product. Now, last one of this page, we are doing 48 times 8. So in case you're having problems looking at how these numbers go, 8 is my one-digit factor. It goes over here to the side. 48, we break it up by place value. I have 2 digits, so it's 2 boxes, 2 different place value. My 4 tens is actually 40 in standard form, and my ones place is 8, so 8 in standard form. There's not really much of a change there. 40 plus 8 is the 48 there. That's where those numbers come from. So in here we are doing the area of 8 times 40, sorry, and then over here we are doing 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. In my tens place, I can just drop down the 0 right away so that I can work on the smaller number problem. We have 8 times 4 left over. 8 times 4 is 32. So we have 320 plus 64. I'm going to do that to the side. 320 plus 64. 4 plus 0 is 4. 6 plus 2 is 8. And 3 with nothing is 3. And my final product is 384. Alright, so that's page number 2. And just keep this in mind that we are stretching out to 2 by 2 digits this week. So if this is still a little bit complicated or kind of tricky to get the hang of, let me and Miss Ponce know so that we can get you guys some more practice on this one, so that the multiplication can be a little bit easier when you're solving. For those of you that like the area model especially, it's a good strategy to use. Now our last page, your Thursday page, if you're doing it day by day, is a little bit more tricky, but it is reviewing the multiples of 0, except this time we are doing division. Since we've been working on division, we're going to see how the zeros work for us when it comes to these problems. So this one you can just follow along. Miss Ponce again did fill out a little bit of a helper for how to do these problems, so let's go over it. We have number 1 over here. We have 54 ones divided by 6. So it looks a little confusing, but I promise it's not. Let's go ahead and go down with problem number 1 continuing. So now we have 54 tens divided by 6. Well, we just did this problem. Now they're changing the unit. We have a tens place, but this is unit form. They already filled it out for you. Tens is over here. So 54 tens divided by 6 would be 9 tens. This last part here for this problem says 54 blank divided by 6 equals 9 hundredths. So if you look at the pattern in these problems, we have ones with the ones, tens with the tens. We're doing unit form, so if this is hundreds, this would be 54 hundredths divided by 6. We end up with 9 hundredths. Okay. Now that's in unit form. It's a little bit simpler to use unit forms because the labels are there. You don't have to worry about the zeros in the sense of writing it out. You just use the same units. Make sure you're paying attention to the units that are being used. It gets a little bit more challenging when we have our regular numbers here. So for example, we have 240 divided by 8. So in this case, you can get that 0 and shift it over to make a friendlier division problem. So once you take that 0 out of the equation, you're left with 24 divided by 8. And she rewrote it up here, 24 divided by 8. When you solve this problem, you end up with 3. Now, those of you thinking, well, Miss B or Miss Ponce, I don't know division. Well, you guys are working on multiplication and they work together, so no worries there. If I were to think backwards, I'm supposed to get a total of 24. That's where this dividend comes from. The dividend is a total number. So 24 divided by 8. I would think about what number that I could multiply times 8, which would be my quotient here. What number I'd multiply by 8 to get a total of 24. I'd work backwards pretty much. And I know 3 times 8 gets me 24. So my answer would be, my quotient would be a 3. I would bring it down to the front, just kind of like we did with multiplication, and my answer would be 30. Okay, So moving along, let's go ahead and see the rest of this problem here. Well, now I have 2,400 divided by 8. Well, those zeros can work for me. I'm going to get the 2 zeros out here. And I'm left with 24 divided by 8 again. That would actually be 300. And let's say, for example, some of you were confused last time. When we do division and we're doing our standard algorithm over here with long division, for example, let me set up to 24,000 and then divided by 8. We start with the biggest digit and work our way towards the end. So I did tell my class that when you are working with equations this way, in order to know how many zeros you can actually transfer over, just be careful and check what numbers you can use in the front to count by, because we're counting by 8s. So I can't count by an 8 and get a 2. I would use the 24. I do know that we already worked with this, so yeah, I can count by 8s and get a 24. That means that I can absolutely transfer the 3 zeros over and just work with 24 divided by 8, which is already 3, it would be 3,000. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. So we're looking for the quotient. Or this is just things to think about. So we're gonna fill in these number sentences here, whatever's missing. And in these next problems, 3 and 4, we see multiplication is put in here, which is pretty much what I was kind of talking about a few seconds ago, of how you can think backwards to work out these problems. We have 42 tens divided by 7. Well, we know 7 times 6 blank would be 42 tens. Well, we would have to do tens here because that's the same unit that we're working with. So right here it says 42 tens divided by 7 would be 6 tens. Now if you think about it, in the tens place we have 1 0. So this number would be 42 with 1 0 at the end. It's actually 420 divided by 7 equals, well, 6 tens. Tens is that 1 0. Bring that 6 down. It's actually 60. That's the problem that you just solved, but in uniform, of course. The next side, we have it actually in standard numbers. So standard form works the same way. We have 72,000 divided by 9 is what? Equals question mark. And we have 9 times blank equals 72,000. So looking at this problem, I can check my 72,000. I can't count by 9s and get a 7, so I'm going to keep going to the next digit, which is 72 as my new number. I can count by 9s and get a 72, so I'm going to be working with 72 divided by 9. Those 3 zeros can get carried over. 3. Oh, I kind of made them too big and then I got small. And 72 divided by 9. Well, 9 times 8 would get me 72. My zeros, I carried them over here. That's a problem we just worked out. So 72,000 divided by 9 would be 8,000. Okay. If I look at the next problem here, 150 divided by 3. Counting by 3s to get a 1, I can't do that, so I'm going to keep checking what numbers I can mess around with. I end up with 15 as my next number. Yes, I can count by 3s and get a 15. So 15 divided by 3, that means I'm carrying my 0 over to my quotient. 15 divided by 3, or what number times 3 gets me a 15? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It would be 5. And I'd end up with 50 as my quotient. Number 6, 360 divided by 6. Those of you that have been practicing with the division, when we do long division, we list the multiples to the side. That could help you out here in this sense. So 360 divided by 6, counting by 3s to get, counting by 6 to get 3, we can't do that, so the next digit over would be the 6. We'd end up with the number 36, which counting by 6s, we can get 36. If you were to list your multiples over here, 6, 12, and 18, 24, 30, 36, we absolutely do get it. If you're using your multiplication chart, which is what most of you do, we don't expect to see your multiples listed, but when we're doing work in the classroom, it's very helpful if you list your multiples there so you can see how you're getting your numbers. 36, back to the problem, 36 divided by 6 is our new set here. Drop that 0 over here into your quotient. Counting by 6s to get the 36, we use 6 times 6 to get the 36. 36 divided by 6 is 6. We end up with 60. Now we got down to the last 3 problems. So we're going to look for mainly what division equation can you use to solve this problem. You got the 3 word problems here. So let's go through number 7. Number 7 says, a pilot flies 5,600 miles in 8 days. It travels the same distance each day. How far does the pilot fly in 1 day? So I want to know how many miles are done in 1 day. I know that I have 5,600 miles over 8 days. I want to know how many each of them carries. So if I were to do a strip diagram for this problem, I would have 5,600 as a total number of miles. So miles here. And I would know that I have 8 days. So I'm going to break up the bottom bar into 4 pieces and then double that, because 4 times 2 is 8. I end up with 8 boxes, and I'm going to put a question mark because I want to know how many are in each of these. If you're doing your get notes, it looks like this. Get groups each total. I know that I have a total of 5,600 miles. I know that I have 8 days. I want to know how many each day has. Each day, it's in your sentence here. Now, to solve this problem, it would be 5,600 divided by 8. You could do your long division, but in this case, for the homework purposes, we are just talking about how the 0 helps you out. So let me go ahead and list my multiples here. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 32, 40, 48, 56. If you guys are doing your chart over here on the side, that's why we have them starting vertically, so that you can make sure you're writing them correctly. And again, if you are doing the homework and you have this chart with you, we're not going to expect to see you listing it. I'm just showing you just in case you need to see that again for when we do our classwork. Anyways, back to the problem here. 5,600 divided by 8. I can get the 56 counting by 8. So I know I can use the 56 here divided by 8, which means that those 2 zeros are going to be part of my quotient. 56 divided by 8, well, I used 7 times 8 to get 56. My quotient would be 700. Looking at problem number 8, John stacks 270 baseball cards. The cards are in 9 piles with an equal number of cards in each pile. So there's that number each. I don't know each again. If I'm doing get, I know that I have a total of 270 cards. I have 9 piles. I want to know how many are in each. That's my question. Strip diagram, you have a total of 270 cards, and then you have 9 stacks in each. This is a little bit hard. I'm going to do thirds, and then I'm going to break those into 3 more pieces. Now I have ninths, and a question mark in the box because I don't know how many each of them has. Now, 270 divided by 9. Well, I can't get a 2 when I count by 9s, but I could get a 27 divided by 9, which means that 0, we're going to drop it over into our quotient. And then 9, counting by 9s to get to 27. 27 divided by 9, we're using the multiplication version going backwards. Whatever's here in my quotient, I times it by 9 to get 27. So 9 times something is 27. That would be 3. Because 3 times 9 is 27. I end up with 30 as my quotient. Last problem, we're at the end, the finish line for this week's homework. Maxine earns the same amount of money mowing lawns each day. After 7 days, she earns $350. How much money does she earn each day? So, again, I know I have a total of $350. I know that she's worked 7 days. I want to know how much each day had of a payment. How much does she get paid each day? So the problem we're solving, let me do that strip diagram for you all right here. It's 350 total. And then my bar on the bottom, it's kind of hard to make sevenths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there at the end. And the question mark because I don't know how many are in each. Now, here we go. We're doing 350 divided by 7. Counting by 7s, I can't get a 3. I could get a 35 though. So 35 divided by 7 is my problem. We are throwing that 0 over. 35 divided by 7 or something times 7 gets me 35. I know that one. 5 times 7 gets me 35. That 5 is where I get it. Our quotient is 50. If for whatever reason you are not sure of your numbers, remember that you can always go back and multiply your quotient by your divisor, and you should get your dividend if you did it correctly. And because I'm doing this with you, we should have the correct numbers. If you are checking your work, just fix your mistakes.